All right, guys, Copper Cutlass here. I came out here today. Now, before I wrap things up, I figure I would do this video while it's all fresh on my mind. So yesterday, there were some concerning numbers that I mentioned to you guys about my clearances. Well, today I actually figured those out. So I took the bearings back out of the main, the main bearing bores, and I measured, obviously without any bearings. I got the crankshaft just in place right now. So I checked all that out, and that ended up being, where did that fall? Okay, so number 1 and number 5 main were at, let's say, 0. And 2, 3, and 4 mains were 1 thou of under. So I got it written down here. So off of my dial bore gauge, since I was just doing comparative measurements on the dial bore gauge, where is it? Here, I wrote it somewhere in here. God damn it. It was like, it was 46 versus 47. 46 on the outer mains and 47 on the inners. So comparatively, those two figures, you have 1,000th of a difference. That's tighter in the center versus the outside. I wrote it down. Either way, it's easy enough to remember. It needs an align hone at this point, so it doesn't even matter. This engine changed hands. I kind of got the backstory on it from JJ. It changed hands a bunch of times between people working on it, and so maybe it just didn't get a line honed at some point. So either way, it's going to get an align hone, and hopefully with new main bearings, we'll be happy. So ideally, I want to be in, I think, at about 3 thousandths on the mains and 2.5 on the rods. But from the looks of it now, I'm probably going to be at 3 and 3. Those are still like within Bill Travato's specs if you've read his book. So I think I'll be fine. And he's had quite good success with even bigger gaps, or clearances, I should say. Because on the rods, 4 of the rods are a half a thou tighter than the other set. So let's say my bearing clearances on the standard crank, not that one, on the one in there, on this set of rods, my clearances were at 3 thousandths, and with these rods it's 2.5. I obviously can't do anything about that. So I think either and they are in the housing, so I think these can get cleaned up a bit more and to get that extra half, or in the journal size. We'll find out what the machinist wants to do. I actually don't know what's proper in that situation because I've never had rods resized or really explained what that is to me. Again, with this engine, I've done a lot of reverse engineering here, figuring out what's going on, and it's kind of a first for me. I know there's some questionable things, like with that one piston. Now, oddly enough, all of the pistons are still pretty much at 2 thousandths piston to wall, which is amazing. So this thing didn't run very long. That scuffing that happened on the really bad piston, which is number 6. Let me see if I got it here now. But this all happened in a relatively fast time period because those are really tight clearances for the piston to wall. They should be at about 5 thousandths with these pistons. I don't care what anybody says. Everything I've ever been told about the Speed Pros, you need at least 4.5 to 5 thousandths piston to wall for it to be happy. And this is proof. This has 2 thousandths piston to wall clearance. That didn't help any. And obviously the original crank is long gone, so I can't even check what they had. Not only that, they spun every single rod bearing. So they were undersized bearings on the rods that I took off. So maybe they just didn't grind it to the right dimension. So either way, I got all the info I wanted. And then I had to talk to the machinist and let him know exactly what's going on and what I'm willing to do. So I am willing to live with whatever the outcome of the rods is, because it is a matching pair of rods, and I have a scale out here. I didn't get a chance to scale them. I'll do that another day to see how close they really are. Obviously, at this point, when you get the whole assembly balanced, and if it's a big deal, I have a bunch of rods lying around here that are stock, so that's not even an issue. So either way, I think at this point, yeah, I'm ready to go to the machine shop. Piston to deck was right where these usually fall. This has never been milled. I can tell by the finish on the deck surface. But it was at like 26 thousandths which is about where these things fall, piston and wall. They're very close to factory as far as the correct pin height goes. So I am going to have him probably get it down to as close to zero deck as possible. Obviously, he's going to have to double check that himself for that exact figure to take it down. So, but right now I'm at about 26. Obviously, the machinist is probably better with the measuring tools than I am. I just wanted to see where things were at so that I can tell him I want this, I want that, and not kill time and have him waste time. Obviously, he's going to have to check things before he puts anything in the machine like any machinist will, but this way I can tell him this is what I want. So from here, I think this weekend or early next week, I'm going to drop this stuff off, and we'll see how long that takes to get back and what we can get done. So hopefully with the align hone, we don't run into any issues with the timing chain. It's only a thou that it's going to change, so hopefully not too much. So yeah, mystery kind of solved, and I got everything's pretty good. The crankshaft I got was really good. I'm pretty happy with the numbers I got today. As far as for referencing and everything goes. So I think I'm a little bit happier with what I saw today versus yesterday. I think the bearings that I got were just either distorted or they were loose in a box. I organized them, but obviously in a very early video you guys saw me smoothing out a couple little pound marks in there. But this is why we check. So they're not going to be any good for us. They're all over the place. And it could have just been the quality of the bearing. I mean, it could have been that too. But as far as the rod bearing goes, the rod bearings go, I think those are good. I think it's because I measured without the shells on one of the 3 thou and one of the 2.5 thou, and those were exactly the same. They were a half a thou difference with or without the bearing, so they're still pretty good. So either way, I'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. And this is a quick little video. Yeah, from here it's off to the machine shop. So we'll see you guys later.